Peace, guys. It's me, Arlene J. Ramsey, CEO and founder of Everyone Let's Talk, also your favorite self-wealth mentor. So this segment, it's about relationships. There's somebody that I've been following on, a couple of people I've been following on YouTube. These are men. And this one gentleman seems to have, I don't want to say so much of a negative outlook on relationships, but he has a YouTube recording which says that a thought and a good girl are the same type of woman. Like, he doesn't believe that there's such thing as a good woman. He believes that all women are actually sitting around here having sex, and that's what they like, and they're playing the game or the role to make certain men think that they're good women and that they really are not into sex. I say this to say, I listened to a lot of what he said. I spent a lot of times, hours, just listening to his videos. A lot, like I said, he has a lot of good pointers for the fellas. But one thing I'm realizing that he is not taking into account is that he's pretty much responsible for the type of women that he's attracting, right? Now, this is somebody that I take it is pretty affluent. He has a lot going on in his life, and he personally don't care or didn't care, because I think I heard that he's married and he has a girlfriend. However, prior to getting married and having this girlfriend, he didn't really care to be in a relationship. He was mostly focused on his grind. So him in particular, he wasn't beat for a girl for having a relationship. Like, he wanted to do whatever he wanted to do, and he wasn't going to allow a woman to force him into getting into a relationship, but he still wanted to fuck. Okay, now this goes against everything that most women are trying to accomplish in their lives, right? We all know that this is what it is. Many women experienced, or we do know because we hear from other men, that men are not about to wife up or get into a serious committed relationship with a woman that they know was a hoe or was a thot. If that man knew she slept around and she got bodies on her, he ain't about to wife that up, okay? We already know that. Men make that very obvious. So for you ladies that's still out there in the dating game, do understand that there are some men who play these tactics, and the tactics they're playing is not even giving a fuck about you, or that you could be authentic in your stance of, listen, I really am interested in a relationship. It's like that goes in one ear and out the other. Like, they got these tactics, whereas, oh, you're in a relationship. Okay, well, this is what I want to do, and you call me back when you're ready to fuck. Whenever you're ready to have sex, you call me back, and I find that so repulsive, And this person has very loyal followers, and they're all men who are in agreement with this type of mindset. And they think that there's something wrong with getting married and settling down and getting into a relationship with a woman. Clearly not taking into account that women, we're not designed in the same way as men. Although, because there was a moment when I was a bit promiscuous, and I don't have a lot of bodies, but even back then, I always thought about my actions and what I was doing. And I always looked at, listen, I'm not trying to be single for the rest of my life. And I was always cognizant of, if, there's going to be a time where I'm going to stop this. Because if I don't, my life will look like, just sleeping around and not really getting myself involved with someone who's going to take me serious. And next thing you know, I'll be getting old, spending the rest of my life by myself with no man who's going to look at me as someone to cherish or settle down with and get married to. You understand what I'm saying? So we're not designed. God didn't make us that way where we think it's okay to just be fucking around. And then when we do, we fuck around. They get what they wanted, and then they go about their business. The other thing that I talk about often is that, these very same men are not even trying to sexually please the women that they're getting this sex from. It's like they just have a one-track mind about having sex with women. And when you tell them that you're interested in a relationship, they don't even respect that. I find it very disturbing that he would say that there's no such thing as a good woman, and a thot and a good girl is basically the same woman. So this is what he says. He says that what makes a woman appear to be a good woman to a man, and that's not his words, but these are my words from my interpretation. So here's, because I can't remember his words per se, but what he's saying is that what makes the thought give you the good girl approach or demeanor is if she see good qualities in you. So if she sees qualities in you that you seem to be a good guy, someone that she would want to be in a relationship with, a man who wouldn't mind getting into a relationship, settling down, getting married, then she shows up and let you know that, okay, she's a good woman and she's prepared, she's looking to get married. However, the way he says it is that she's being a thought with another man. Like there's another man that she's having sex with. Okay, this is true for a lot of women. I agree with that. But however, what he's not saying is that these very same women that he's talking about who do that, live these lifestyles, would rather not. But the reason why they're living those lifestyles is because the men are not staying with them. They're just looking to come and fuck, but they're not looking to stay involved with them. They're not even looking to say, listen, I wouldn't even mind having this one woman as a friends with benefits. So this is somebody that I continuously have an intimate relationship with. They're not looking at it like that. So what does it leave the woman to do? So if a woman is not in control of her sexual urges, which that's a very hard and challenging thing to do, she will be forced to go out there and have sex with different men. But that's not something that she wants to do, whereas men take delight in doing that. That is something that a man wants to do. Women, on the other hand, we would rather not. We would rather not. There's a very small percentage of women who wants to just be out here screwing different people and trying different sizes, different meats, just different flavors. That's a smaller percentage of women. But when I listened to his recording, I couldn't help but like a lot of the game that he talked about wouldn't work on me at all. No, I find it ridiculous. If I tell someone that I'm into a relationship, I've been celibate for a while, and he doesn't respect that, and he's all into you, and all he cares to do is have sex, then that will be the end of the conversation. Like any man that approaches me from that perspective of sex first, because when you get in a relationship, we all understand that we're going to have sex like that, and I'm not the type of woman to withhold sex, but if that is his primary thought, that is a turnoff for me, because it tells me exactly where he is at in life, and that he doesn't see me in his life, in the future. It's only for right now, and I don't have time for that. There were some things that I wrote. What else did I write down? Yeah, this is the other thing that I got from this as well. A lot of the men who follow him are believing this very same thing that he's saying. So what happens is that it kind of warps their perception of women overall. And what I'm gathering is that, all of this that they're picking up from him is going to give them reason to just not respect women overall. Because some people goes overboard with it. Some people don't understand that there's a happy medium, or there's a balance to things. They tend to take things overboard, and they tend to say, yeah, this is something that, all women are doing. Based on the fact of, we all know how it feels when we all get that sexual urge. So what they tell themselves is that, well, what will the average woman do once she really wants to have sex? But there are a lot of women who masturbate and who have sex toys and really are not out here having sex with different men. There are really those of us who are out here who live this type of lifestyle. So, I thought it was important to say this, because there's a lot of women who are having trouble or finding trouble in the dating game, and they don't know why. Well, a lot of it is because you have a percentage of men who are out here playing a game, right? So the game that they're playing, they're not telling you what this game is, right? It's in their head, and then they're approaching you with all of these different tactics and just watching how you move. And the certain tactics is going to force you to have a certain response. You see what I'm saying? And that's not fair, because the way they look at it is that the idea or the fact that women mention marriage and mention having a serious relationship, they look at that as a game, which I don't know how. So it also tells me that they don't have a good understanding of women as well. They have somewhat of an understanding of women, but not in totality. And then the understanding that they do have of women, they're not even respecting it. The other thing is that a lot of these tactics they wouldn't have to do if they worked on becoming a man of better integrity, a better authenticity, right? So here's what it is, and this is what I've learned. When you work on yourself and you become in alignment with universal law, the spiritual laws, and you make it, you hold yourself accountable for being a better woman, doing better things, meaning what you say, holding yourself accountable to doing what you say you were going to do. Self-reflecting, apologizing when you know you were wrong, not looking to do things that's wrong, which means what I mean by that is you're very careful with what you do in the first place, right? Because you understand that you took someone else's feelings into consideration. If you know that you want to be here to support a man, so whatever your man is doing or that man is doing, you want to be able to lend support, lend ideas or anything that he do. How can you make things easier for him? If you're looking for or learning how to coexist, and you have a willingness to want to be a better person and a willingness to accept constructive criticism, then that's all you need. Once you are in alignment with that energy and those principles, your search starts to narrow down. So all these people that's out here playing these games and they know what tactics is for wit, that's for people. They're dealing with people who are also playing the game and playing the field. So what you have is a bunch of people that's like, what can I call it? It's like they're out here sparring. What is it? They're out here like the people who do with the sword fighting. That's what it is. You out here sword fighting. So whenever you move, someone else is going to block it. If you're offending, someone else's job is to defend. So it's whoop, 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 whoop. That's what they're doing. That's what they're out here doing. And to me, there's like, what is there to gain in that? I guess it's fun for them, because it's a game. But on the grander scheme of life, it's ridiculous. But when you move in alignment with universal law, and you work towards being a better person and being someone of good character and good authenticity and integrity, trust me, the pickings that narrows down your pickings. And it cuts away the bullshit, because now bullshit and you don't have to, it doesn't take much for you to decipher through the bullshit. Because when a person is not coming through in authenticity, it's certain things they say and do which lets you know that this person is on game and on bullshit. And if you're not on that bullshit, you don't even need to waste time with that person. In your mind, this person is not for you. And especially if you let them know up front. If they know up front what you're about, and it's like they still coming to you with what they're about and they're on game and not recognizing or refusing to acknowledge what you're saying and your actions, you already know that that's somebody that's not going to respect you and your ideologies and your principles. If you were to ever get into a relationship with them, their mindset will be try to break you or bend you into doing what they want you to do. And that's not what relationships are about. And those are the things that's out here. So ladies, and this is for men as well, I try to give information from a balanced perspective and taking everyone into account. All of this game that's going on is nonsense, and it really doesn't benefit either one. And as I said before, all of that he's out there saying, like I said, it just gives the men who follow him a reason or an excuse to just disrespect the women that they come across. Disrespect the women who speaks in the way, like, let's just say that I speak. If I say I'm celibate and listen, I'm looking to settle down. I'll be 42 years old in December, and I'm not, I love sex, but I'm just not into all of that right now. You know, I'm into what my future is going to look like. And if he doesn't respect that because he's into the game, you know, and that's what happens when people speak from that perspective. You're going to have men that's thinking like, oh, I'm not beat for that. Like, she's on that bullshit. She's probably smashing somebody else. I don't care about celibacy. What's celibacy? That doesn't even exist. Now, when you fellas, what you don't realize is when you start thinking like that, that really hits to the core of the person who told you that she's about that life. And it really says that in order, if you're literally going to disrespect a spiritual principle, because it's a spirit, it's not something that came, it's not me. That is a spiritual principle that I'm choosing to follow. So you have to see that as deeper than what I say it is. And if you can't do that, then you're not the one who, it doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank or how much money you're able to make, or if you have multiple streams of income, how good looking you are. It really doesn't matter. What matters is what type of man you are or what type of woman you are. And if you're committed to disrespecting any principle that is opposed to what you think it should be, then you need to reevaluate yourself. Plain and simple. You need to reevaluate yourself. Back in the day, and this is the challenging thing, right? Because in today's time, you have some fellas who are upset and they're mad at women who fell in the trap and slept around, right? And you have those and then you have some men that's like, what, you know, in order for them to have sex, they would have had to get married to someone before that happened. Now it's like, you know, it's free for all, you know. So these types of men who are following that principle they don't really care about the principles of back in the day. They don't. There was no way in hell that they're trying to get married just to have sex with somebody. They don't respect relationship and women like that enough. And they're just looking at women as just something to have sex with so they can bust a nut and go about their business. So it's about release, and that's it for them. And that's it. So I just want to put you guys on that game, that there's just a lot of ridiculousness that's going on and it doesn't make sense. However, if you was to come across that, don't feel like it's your fault. Do understand that there are some men who are following those principles, and those principles are just not for you. Let him go about his business, okay? And no, good girls and Thots are not the same women, are not the same people. You are wrong. In some cases, yes, not in all cases. And again, if you continue to meet women that you have to talk about in that way, that they're playing the game, then you would have to question yourself. Because you know, in spirituality, right, there is a saying that you are what you attract. What I say is that you are more the energy that you choose to keep around you, because not all the time we can help the energy that we attract. However, the energy that you choose to keep around you is more reflective of who you are. So if you continue to attract this type of woman, and you have to continue to play a certain type of game and use some type of tactic to get in a woman's pants, then, you know, the question is why? And who are you? Why are you attracting that type of woman? Why are you attracting the woman that you have to think is bullshit and or is on game? Why? Maybe it's you. Because I'm going to tell you this. There's a lot of us that's out here who are holding themselves to be better people and authentic people of integrity, who won't waste their time with you. And again, it doesn't matter about how much money you got or how good looking you are, your swag, none of that shit matters. It's just that they see it as I said earlier, that you're committed to disrespecting principle that opposes your beliefs. And that means that you just even disrespected that person's connection with God. Like, being celibate or looking for a relationship requires a person to just get deep with God and have a connection with God first, and spirituality first, and be obedient. So a person who's obedient in their life travel and looking to live a certain way, and you're coming to disrupt that pattern just to have sex. That's it. Just to have sex. Not even caring, as I said earlier, about that woman adding another man to her history of having sex, and that man who won't even marry her. Now she will still be left alone, looking for somebody to marry her because she doesn't want to end up being alone. I don't think so. You guys are out of control. I don't think so. But that's it in regards to this right now. Peace.